I know that drawing realistically can be very complicated for beginners, but if you follow the correct steps and take each stage one at a time, everything becomes much more logical and easier, which I will cover in today's video. In this tutorial, you will learn how to draw a realistic dog's nose from start to finish using graphite pencils. So, let's get started. Preparing your materials. Before we begin, make sure you have the following materials. Graphite pencils. Of course, the first thing we need is graphite pencils. I will use a set from Staedtler Lumograph Mars Black because they have a harder consistency and are good for creating base layers as well as adding details. The next necessary thing is a piece of paper. For this, I opted for one of my favorite brands, Strathmore Bristol. Blending tools. These come in various types and textures. Among them are blending stumps, cotton buds, makeup brushes, and even fingers if they are well cleaned of oils. However, using your finger for blending is a highly controversial topic that I don't want to delve into right now, but I'll try to use as many of these tools as possible. A sharpener. I will use a mechanical sharpener. A mechanical sharpener is designed to sharpen pencils, including graphite, colored, and pastel pencils, using a mechanical mechanism. These sharpeners are more efficient and often provide a more consistent and precise sharpening compared to manual sharpeners. This does the job quickly and you can achieve a very sharp point. Starting with a sketch when drawing a realistic nose in graphite is super important for several reasons. Firstly, it sets up proportions and placement. A sketch lets you outline the basic shape and size of the nose, making sure it fits well with the rest of the face. It gives you a roadmap for where the nostrils, bridge, and other key features should go, making it easier to add details later. Secondly, it improves accuracy. Mapping out the structure first helps you avoid big mistakes that could be hard to fix later. A sketch acts as a reference, helping you keep angles and proportions consistent. Thirdly, it saves time. A good sketch can save you time in the long run by preventing the need for major corrections. Once the basic shape is in place, you can concentrate on adding fine details without worrying about the overall structure. It also enhances realism. Starting with a sketch helps you understand the three-dimensional form of the nose, which is key for making it look realistic. It allows you to plan the light source and shading, adding depth and realism to your drawing. It helps to build confidence. Having a clear outline gives you confidence, making the drawing process smoother and less stressful. Working from a sketch lets you build the drawing step by step, making the task less overwhelming. It is also great for corrections. Initial sketches can be easily tweaked or erased, allowing for experimentation and refinement before diving into the details. It gives you the flexibility to modify the drawing as you go, ensuring the final result is accurate and realistic. Lastly, it helps you have an organized composition. A sketch helps you organize the composition and make sure all parts of the drawing are balanced and harmonious. It helps you understand how different parts of the nose relate to each other and fit within the overall face. By starting with a sketch, you set a solid foundation that guides the whole drawing process, leading to a more accurate, realistic, and polished final piece. Step 2. Adding base layers. Start with light shading. Lightly shade the entire nose shape with your HB pencil. Use light, even strokes to cover the area without pressing too hard. This layer should be thin and consistent. Darken the nostrils. Use a slightly darker gray or HB pencil to fill in the nostrils. Make sure the shading here is darker and more intense than the rest of the nose, as this will create depth and contrast. Blend the base layer. Take a blending stump or a soft brush and gently blend the shaded area. Use circular motions to create a smooth gradient, transitioning from darker to lighter areas seamlessly. This helps to soften any harsh lines and create a more realistic texture. Build up layers. Gradually build up the layers by adding more graphite pigment to the nose. Focus on the areas that would naturally be darker, such as the bottom of the nose and the sides. Keep blending as you go to maintain a smooth appearance. Refine the shape. As you add more layers, refine the shape of the nose. Ensure the edges are clean and the transitions between dark and light areas are smooth. Pay attention to the natural contours and curves of a dog's nose. Create depth. To add more depth, use a darker pencil to add subtle shadows around the nostrils and the base of the nose. Blend these shadows carefully to integrate them with the rest of the base layer. Step 3. Blending the base layers. Now that your base layers are down, it's time to blend them. Blending is crucial for achieving a smooth and realistic look. Here's how to do it step by step. Choose your blending tool. First, decide on the blending tool you'll use. Common tools include blending stumps, cotton buds, Q-tips, or soft makeup brushes. Each tool can give a slightly different texture, so choose based on your preference and the effect you want to achieve. Start blending. In the end, I used only the pencil to blend the areas and add more layers, but the blending tools would work similarly. The only difference is that you will get a softer look. You can begin with the darker areas of your drawing. Use gentle, circular motions with your blending tool to start blending the pigment. The circular motion helps to evenly distribute the graphite and avoid harsh lines, creating a smooth transition between shades. Blend in sections. Work on small sections at a time. This ensures that you maintain control over the blending process and achieve a consistent gradient. Focus on one part of the nose, blend it thoroughly, and then move on to the next section. Pay attention to light and shadow. As you blend, keep the light source in mind. Make sure the transitions from dark to light are smooth and gradual. The areas that catch the most light should remain lighter, and the shadowed areas should be well blended into the midtones. If some areas become too light or lose their depth during blending, don't hesitate to add more graphite pigment and blend again. Building up layers gradually allows for better control and a better final result. Clean your blending tool. Periodically, clean your blending tool to prevent dark colors from contaminating lighter areas. If using a blending stump, you can clean it by rubbing it on a scrap piece of paper or piece of cloth. For cotton buds, simply switch to a new one when it gets too dirty. Fix unwanted mistakes. If you make a mistake or an area looks too harsh, gently erase it with a kneaded eraser and reapply the graphite. Then blend again until you achieve the desired effect. Remember, the goal is to create a smooth gradient from dark to light, mimicking the natural contours and texture of a dog's nose. Take your time with this step, as careful blending is key to achieving a realistic look. Step 4. Adding details. Now that the base layer is blended and smooth, it's time to add details to bring your dog nose drawing to life. This step involves defining key features and adding texture to achieve a realistic look. Follow these detailed steps. Choose a darker graphite pencil. Select a darker graphite pencil such as 6B or 8B to define the nostrils. Ensure the pencil is sharp to allow for precise lines. Add depth and dimension. Add subtle shading along the outer edges to give the nose more dimension. This helps to differentiate the nose from the surrounding facial area. Blend lightly to keep the shading natural. Add texture. Create small dots and lines. Add small dots and lines across the surface to mimic a real dog nose's texture. Use a sharp graphite pencil for this. The texture should be subtle but noticeable, capturing the nose's natural pores and tiny creases. Randomize the pattern. Ensure the dots and lines are randomly placed to avoid a uniform look. Vary the size and intensity of the marks to create a more natural texture. Focus on areas where the nose has more texture, such as around the nostrils and the top of the nose. Step 4. Highlight and refine. Add highlights. Use a pen eraser or a kneaded eraser to add highlights. Focus on areas where light naturally hits the nose, such as the top ridge and the sides. Highlights give the nose a shiny, wet appearance, adding to the realism. Blend and adjust. Blend the highlights gently to soften them, making sure they integrate well with the base layers. Use a clean blending tool or your finger to carefully blend without smudging the details. Step 5. Final touches. Enhance shadows. Go back with your dark graphite pencil to enhance shadows and deepen any areas that need more contrast. This step adds depth and makes the details stand out. Refine edges. Look at the overall shape and edges of the nose. Use your pencil to refine any areas that look too rough or undefined. Clean up the lines and ensure the nose looks crisp and well defined. Check for consistency. Step back and view your drawing from a distance. Check for consistency in texture, shading, and details. Make any final adjustments to ensure everything looks cohesive and realistic. By carefully adding these details, you bring your drawing to life, making the dog's nose appear realistic and textured. Take your time with each step and refer to your reference photo often to ensure accuracy and authenticity. If you want to see more of my tutorials, I would love for you to join my subscribers community. And if you want to be the first one to be noticed when I post a new video, just click on that bell button and that's all fixed. Thank you for watching, and I'm looking forward to see you in my next tutorials as well.